Peggy Holton lived in this part of the Pacific Palisades for almost half a century.
47 years. I started living here on the 1st of January of 1978.
Living here meant living with the threat of wildfires, but there was one thing that helped her and her neighbors sleep at night: the Santa Ynez Reservoir, just 600 meters from her home.
I mean, I used to always say I would never, ever, ever worry about this place burning down, because right out my bedroom window I could see the reservoir, and there's a place up there where the choppers would fill up with water and come to wherever.
Built in 1970, the reservoir can hold 450 million liters of water. But when the fire broke out on January 7th, it had been empty for a year due to repairs, and residents nearby were never informed.
This is the most serious lie you can tell to people. You know, if you know that it's not there, that they didn't tell us, they didn't tell anybody.
Firefighting aircraft were grounded just hours after the fire began due to the extreme winds, making water drops impossible. But some experts say a full reservoir would have maintained water in some of the hydrants that went dry that day.
So you believe a full reservoir would have saved you?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it happen time and time again.
The empty reservoir was not the only problem that day. As the inferno raged, firefighters and equipment were stretched thin, leaving some residents with only one option: to defend their homes themselves.
I've tried to get the fire department here. Hopefully they'll get here before it's too late.
Robert Trinkeller says he never considered leaving. He spent more than 24 hours protecting his and some of his neighbors' homes.
I kicked this door in.
He documented the events of that day.
All right, I'm done. I'm gonna have to abandon this house.
Filming the inferno engulfing the structures he wasn't able to save. His own home caught fire 3 separate times.
This piece of wood here caught on fire, was burning. So I came over to put it out, and I noticed a glow inside the wall over there in the crack. You know, the boards were like this, and if it wasn't nighttime, I wouldn't have seen the glow. By nighttime, I had no water pressure. These were great during the day. I didn't really need them during the day. I had a little bit of pressure to put this out, and then it died, so I had to use buckets from the pool.
As the flames progressed, fire crews and residents who stayed were caught off guard by another problem. The water system was failing due to extreme demand.
We're having some water supply issues. Some of the hydrants are going dry.
As weather forecasts became more alarming in the days before the fire, departments pre-deployed teams in high danger zones. But those same officials chose not to assign an extra 1,000 firefighters and dozens of engines for emergency deployment. That would have doubled the personnel on hand. The LA Fire Department says it wouldn't have changed much.
With winds at over 100 miles an hour, I've been in LA City Fire Department for over 16 years. I have never experienced the fire behavior, the winds, and the burn rate that we've had. So it's easy now to stand here and say, would more resources have helped? Of course they wouldn't have hurt. Would they have stopped this fire, and could we have got ahead of it? Not likely at all.
While the Palisades burned, another fire erupted in the town of Altadena, 40 kilometers away. As extreme winds pushed flames across the area, hundreds of residents never received an alert warning them of the danger.
I woke up at 2:20 a.m. and then I said, oh my God, we have to get out.
Claire Robinson and her husband had gone through 2 fires since moving here. Both times, authorities sent emergency alerts on their phones telling them to leave. This time was different.
So the neighbor's house had these starfish, like embers. They were just bright orange and red and yellow and landing and sticking on her roof. And there were like huge pieces of black embers, like it was almost like a tornado. And so when I saw that, I woke up my husband and I said, we're not in the evacuation zone, but we need to go.
The first evacuation order for the area came at 3:25 a.m. All 17 victims of the Eden fire died here. Many of them were elderly or disabled.
We lost a lot more than we needed to. We should have gotten the notice the night before because the fire was so close and it was so hot. And the people who needed help getting out, we could have helped them. I mean, there's nothing worse than knowing that neighbors are dead. That's a massive failure, right?
Authorities have launched several investigations to address the failures that undermined the emergency response. But for many residents, there is no doubt that critical mistakes were made, deepening the sense of loss as Los Angeles recovers from its worst ever disaster.